All right, time for a little swimming pool rant. Aside from the fact that it's the time of the year when you get those oak tassels and algae, of course, and this is all the crap that's in the skimmer all the time. There are several things that are wrong that were caused by a pool company we had out here, I don't know, 5, 6, 8 years ago. You notice the water level is way down, and yeah, you know, anyway, this pool's had persistent leaks, and one of them was due to this inlet return line over here. I don't know if you can see it. And the pool guys came out here and they said, we used to have a different kind of coping. It was a red brick coping. I liked it. And they, oh, well, we'll have to dig up over there and see what's leaking. So they broke 2 or 3 of the bricks, and then they said, oh, since these bricks aren't available, you'll have to get all new coping, and you'll have to get a whole new sidewalk. And what they did, they stole the bricks basically. They chiseled them out one at a time, and they took them to somebody else's job site because they used my bricks because they needed some spares. I ended up having to pay for all this, and then I raised hell about it, and they ended up not charging me for it. But the leaks continued, and I know why. That inlet, let me show you. That inlet, when they replaced it, the guy did not use PVC. He used hose clamps, and there was a trash bag wrapped around this. And this thing was underground leaking for years. And I called him back out, and we dug it up. And I showed the guy that owns the company, so he didn't charge me for any of this. But out here, of course, we have another thing. These selector valves, these are known to leak. And look at this. Thing's spraying away here. I put gaskets in these things. I've glued it with epoxy. The epoxy holds sometimes it doesn't. Obviously it's not holding today. And so this pool loses water about a ½ inch to 1 inch a day. And you can buy one of these valves and put a new one on, and that'll work for, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months, and this starts leaking. In addition to that, the last time those pool guys were here, they insisted on changing the way this works. This line goes to the skimmer, this line goes to the main drain. This is some new government nonsense that they came up with. Originally, these skimmers had a float valve in them, and if the pool level, water level got too low, the float valve would close in here and it would pump from the main drain. Let me see if I can show you where you can see it down there. Well, maybe you can't. Actually, there's a, yeah, you can see there's only one hole that's open. There's a plug in this other hole over here. What it would do is the float valve would close, and then it would pump from the main drain, and you know, the pool would just go on about its business. Well, some government deal was some kid supposedly got his rear end stuck on a main drain and it sucked his intestines out. So they modified that skimmer so that it attempts to pump from the main drain. You can't even see it today. And the main drain now has some little tiny little thing with little tiny holes to suck or to keep the leaves from getting in it, and that clogs up instantly. So now you can either select from the skimmer or the main drain with this valve. And when the water level's too low, of course, you think, okay, great, I'll just switch it over to the main drain. Let me try this. I'm gonna close off the skimmer. Now if you notice, here, the pump goes into cavitation, meaning that the main drain is stopped up. And the reason it's stopped up is because of that government-approved nonsense with the little skimmer thing on it, and there are the little tiny holes in it, because all the leaves can actually get in there and plug up that line. There's no way to get it unclogged. I've tried genie jets, I've tried running stuff through it. Once in a while you can get it undone. Look at this. See? Keep right on leaking. I mean, there's a new gasket in here, the thing's not cracked. I epoxied the heck out of it. It's not doing any good. Typical trials and tribulations of owning a pool. But anyway, one of these days, either A, I'll get rid of the pool, or B, we'll solve all the problems. Let's see if we're still pumping okay here. I've got fill water coming in, as you can see over there. We'll turn that off, or I'll get some $500 water bill or some nonsense. ridiculous. And all these valves are crunchy from the freeze. There's still rust and sand and stuff coming through. Every one of these outdoor hose bibs and everything are still messed up from that freeze. Of course, on the freeze, let's go back over here and rant some more. On the freeze, this pump was going to run all night so that nothing in here would crack or break. But oh no, of course not. They turned off the power for 4 days. Well, all of these pipes here exploded. Had to replace all this stuff. Had to saw it out, put in new PVC. And in addition to that, I had to rebuild all the toilets. The toilet water valves are all ruined from the rust and the sand and everything when they turned the water off and turned it back on. So, now that I've completed today's rant, just hopeless. I'm going to go out there and work on a car that's got a problem. It never ends.